I think if you come to M3 with an open mind and an open heart, I think you'll be inspired to find a way to serve. That's the goal of M3, and I think we hear testimonies of that happening all the time.
There's a lot of people that come that they've never thought of missions before. And so they're coming here and they're really starting. It's a starting scale. And they've never thought of it, so what does it look like for them to go, and you get to have those conversations.
M3 Mission was a place where I could find the answers to my questions, where I could talk to like-minded people that had the same passions that I did and ask them those questions.
It's more than a conference. It's a community of people that are connected. It's the attendees who get to know each other over 10 years. It's the exhibitors that get to know each other over the 10 years. It formed into a community of people who share information, share resources, share stories, and collaborate with each other.
The spirit that met me here is palpable. It is such an energy of passion that it's just amazing.
When you show up at M3 thinking, oh, this is for that guy, you end up finding out, well, it actually was for you, you just didn't know that.
The saying that you are blessed to be a blessing is such a true statement, because I have never failed to pour out and get so much more in return.
When we're talking about Jesus and how to give away love freely, then it actually lasts in people's lives. And the people here are actually going to go do something about it.
17 years ago, I went to the Billy Graham Library dedication with Joel. At the end of the dedication, I heard a voice that was calling my name. He said, Paul, Paul. He said, are you a surgeon? And I said, I am. It was Dr. Dick Furman from World Medical Mission, part of Samaritan's Purse. Dr. Furman asked me if I would be willing to go on a missions trip sometime and see the work of World Med. From that started our interest in medical missions, and after that, Jen and I and the family started going and serving and working at a mission hospital, specifically in Kenya, and we did that for 6 years. I always thought in order to make a difference in missions, you had to be a pastor or an evangelist or a Bible teacher. And it opened my eyes to the world of medical missions. It opened my eyes to men and women who are giving their lives away, using their skills and gifts in medicine and surgery to help people. I was working in Western Zambia near Angola, and I was there for 3.5 months. And when I finished my 3.5 months there, a surgeon from Lusaka, the capital, said, Paul, do you realize you've been the only qualified surgeon in an area the size of Louisiana? And that struck me because I thought, you know, what if a lady in northern Louisiana needed a C-section and had to travel all the way down to New Orleans for care? About 36 hours later, we circled not only downtown, but I could also see the medical center. There are 2,500 physicians in one zip code in Houston. And I felt like just God birthed something right there in the air where he said, what would happen if you combine the great resources that are available in the Houston area with the great needs that are all around the world?
Everywhere that we would go, we would come across people who were doing orphan care, clean water, digging wells, medical care. And we knew that one of the things they needed were people. So we had thought about, wow, it seems like that we see something that nobody else sees, or that we're firsthand experiencing something. But when he came back that time, he had the vision of, hey, why don't we do that right here? What would happen if we could connect the needs that we see with people who could provide for those organizations and the people, the hospitals that had the need? And I think it was birthed specifically on that trip.
We wanted to inform people, we wanted to inspire people, and we wanted to mobilize people.
I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to the first M3 conference. Thanks for being a part of this very first conference. We're so excited that you're here.
I think after the first year, that really spurred us on. Like, they were so excited at the interest that people had to find out what they were doing, how they could be involved. So I think for me, that was a big encouragement.
Yeah. Not only are people connected, but not only people inspired, but as they walk those lobbies and they come across those exhibitors, we hope that God births something in them to say, that's a place that I could be involved in missions, and they take that next step to get involved.
One thing that we've seen at M3 are just the connections and how those grow. And so several years ago, Paul went to a breakfast, and at that breakfast, they asked one of the physicians to stand up and tell about a ministry that she had. And so she got up and she shared about a clinic that she had in Malawi.
There was a guy that I thought, oh, he looks kind of familiar. I think I've seen him somewhere. And that was Dr. Paul Osteen. He has a familiar face. I turn around, I look at him, he introduces himself, and then he just said, I want you to come to the Mobilizing Medical Missions Conference. And in fact, I think one of these days you're going to be standing on front of the stage and you're going to be talking about your story about how you came from Malawi here and doing this work.
Dr. Alanese wanted to go back and make a difference in her hometown where the infant and the maternal mortality rate was so high. Problem is she had a vision of what to do, but she couldn't come up with plans. Just so happened we have a friend named Mark Garrison, who's an architect who built the operating rooms in Mukingi where we worked. And Mark came and spoke one for us at M3 one time. Well, Annie heard Mark speak. Annie then asked Mark if he would help, and right now, Annie Alanese is having her operating rooms built by Mark Garrison and his team there in Malawi. In addition to that, not only are they being built, but they're going to lower the infant and the maternal mortality in that area. So the impact M3 is having, connecting people that have like-minded visions who have different talents. You can be good at carpentry or plumbing or IT or administration. There's so many ways that you can be involved in missions to make a difference.
What I see for the future, I look back and I think about all the people that have said yes over the last 10 years, and they've gone and they've made a difference. But, it's not just medical professionals. I think what God's looking for is He's looking for a willing heart. And so as I look forward, I think of all the people that I hope will say yes, either right where they are or maybe wherever God wants to send them. But I'm excited to see how many more people in the future will just say yes to God.